Hi, my name is Stacy, and I joined the OTO community in January of 2021. Prior to joining the community, I was a registered dental hygienist. I no longer practice in private practice, but I do still carry my license just in case. But before that, I worked full time before having my daughter in November of 2017. And then after my maternity leave with her, I went back to work part time. And then I had my son in January of 2020, and my husband and I decided that it was best for me to stay home with them rather than go to work a few times a week and pay for childcare. So, and my husband travels quite a bit for work. So it's just easier for me to be home and not to have to worry about working on my schedule, childcare, and different things like that when he's gone. So, after my son was born, that's when COVID hit a few months later, and I found myself really struggling mentally and emotionally. I'm normally a very introverted person, and it's not easy for me to put myself out there and to start conversations uh, and going out and meeting new people, and especially in the middle of a pandemic. So I found myself really spiraling with severe anxiety and just some depression. There were nights where I literally couldn't sleep and I stayed up all night because I was so overwhelmed with my thoughts. And I just overall was struggling to find happiness and find myself outside of being a mom. I spent a lot of time just wanting to lay in bed, even though obviously I couldn't do that because I had, two young kids to look after, and they're my first priority and they always will be, but that was just kind of a big struggle for me. And it was just very hard for me mentally overall. And I was desperate to find something that gave me life and purpose outside of motherhood and filled my cup so that I could be at home, raise my babies, but also be the best version of myself for them and for my family. So I believe I found Michaela's course in a Facebook group. I believe there was a thread of somebody posting, work at home, mom jobs, things like that. And so I looked at it, I was intrigued. That's what I want. And there's actually somebody that posted on it a link to Michaela's resources. So I clicked on it, looked at everything, binged it, everything like that. And, it was something I was intrigued by. And so I reached out to the person that originally posted it and asked for some reviews, how they liked it, if it was legit, things like that. And she had nothing but good things to say and her own success stories that she shared with me. So I watched the free webinar with my husband, who was totally on board for me finding something. I spent a couple of days thinking about it. I was scared because it was a bigger financial investment up front, but my husband kept reminding me that it is doable for our family. I was afraid of failing and not making the money back and feeling like a burden on my family. But I kept telling myself that, all I needed was to make back the investment and then I could stop if I really hated it or if I wasn't being successful, and I would really have no remorse because I made back that investment. So I did end up purchasing the course. And my first goal was to make back my investment in any business debt that I accrued in having that pressure off my back. So it took about 4 to 5 months to make back my full investment, plus, other fees that are associated with starting a business, like creating your LLC and just different things like that. And then when I started turning a profit, I was so excited and I felt that, I could do this. It is something that is working for me. I'm still balancing that work-life balance, but I get to do it in the best scenario ever. And, have my kids by my side while I do it. So that's super, super exciting. And, it's so fun to pay yourself. Obviously, it's always nice when you get income and it goes into your bank account, but it feels even better when you did it all on your own. You found the client, you made that connection, and then you get to pay out to yourself. So that's probably one of the best feelings coming from this. So I would definitely say that, support is key. For me, at least, for having success in the program. I didn't tell many people until I was making that profit and landing clients because I didn't want people to know if I failed. I was scared, nobody wants to fail. Nobody wants to feel that way. And my husband is really the only one who knew and was fully 100% supportive, which I so very much appreciate. I lightly talked about it with a few others, but, a lot of people just didn't really understand what I was doing. And honestly, some, didn't understand why I wanted to go through the stressors of starting a business financially when I didn't need it. So, but again, it wasn't about the income for me, although obviously that's a nice bonus. It was about my mental health and my happiness. It's so hard to take care of littles all day long. You can only change so many diapers, clean so many dishes, and make so many peanut butter and jellies before you start to lose your mind. So if I didn't have the support of my husband and the OTO community, I would have given up. And honestly, I was really, really close to giving up. So you need that community to know what you're doing is right and to help you get rid of those doubts when they come up. I definitely feel like it's so essential. So my biggest kind of tip is going to be, being confident in yourself and be true to yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, I believe that will come through on your discovery calls and in your work. So, like Michaela says, people will work with people because of their personality and not so much because of their experience. And, I think that's true. And vice versa. I pick clients based on the personality versus project details because I want to love the person I'm working with. I want to be able to relate to them and be on the same kind of uh, chapter in life. So a lot of people get nervous, and I see this a lot in the community of, their kids being on the discovery calls or their kids being in the background yelling and screaming and being kids. So what I've learned though is that, I prefer them to be in the picture and, be in the background because that's my life. I'm home with them. That's why I started my business. They are my why, aside from myself. And, I'm going to be working with them in the background. I'm going to be they're going to be in my workspace. And I think it's important for me that the clients that I work with are on board with that and they can relate and they can understand that because otherwise they're not the right client for me. So, yeah, I just learned that, the clients I prefer to work with, they don't care about that. They care that I can be a great mom and get the work done. And that is usually, something they can relate to. So definitely something that I would say, don't be afraid of, be confident in yourself and just know your why and always go back to your why. So as far as my journey, I started my business in January of 2021, like I previously mentioned. I would say I had my first client in about the first month or two of launching my business and putting myself out there and applying for things. And, it was a good client. I learned a lot starting with it. It taught me a lot about myself. It just gave me, that confidence boost and things like that. But I needed more. I had a lot more time to give somebody and wanted to work on other things as well. So I kept applying for things. I would cold pitch. I would post in Facebook groups. I applied on things on the job board. And I got a lot of no's. I had a lot of discovery calls, but I got a lot of no's. And, that's really hard to hear no. It's really hard to be rejected, but I try to remind myself all the time, like, I am valuable. Somebody will find me valuable. I'll be a good fit for somebody. And those people just weren't the right ones for me. And, some of them are hard because they were clients that I really thought I would love to work with. I loved their niche. I loved the things that they did. And so I got really bummed when they said no. But, at the end of the day, where I'm at now, it all worked out for a reason. So it was probably about, probably about May of 2021 when I started to become overwhelmed and I was like, this is never going to work. I want to quit. This just isn't for me. I just need to get through X more months with this client to be able to make back my investment. And then literally overnight, flip switch somewhere in the universe. And I literally had 3 clients within 2 weeks that I applied with. They got back to me and they wanted me to work with them. So it's just crazy how the ride of the journey. There's lots of ups, there's lots of downs. It's like, honestly, it's like a roller coaster. And it's just crazy how fast things can change, both good and bad. But, for me so far, it was the good. And, I'm really thankful that I didn't give up because I love the clients that I'm working with right now. I love the work that I'm doing. And, had I given up, I would have never met these people. So I guess my biggest piece of advice is just don't give up. Keep pushing, keep pursuing what you want to do. There are people out there that you're going to click with. They're going to be great clients for you. So just make sure that you keep pushing for what you want. The only person that can get you where you want to go is yourself. So just be confident in yourself, and work at your own pace. If you need to work slower, work slower. If you want to dive on in, send out 50 emails in the first 2 weeks, do that too. Whatever works for you, whatever works best for your family, is ultimately the right journey for you.